does your body feel like in zero gravity?
What inspires you to become an astronaut?
What exercise do you do? And do you sweat in space?
Would a yo-yo work in microgravity?
So it works.
I enjoyed teaching different subjects because it was an opportunity to learn about different things. I always thought that was one of the greatest deals about teaching is you get to learn alongside students. Yeah, it wasn't a single point in time where I really decided to become a teacher. I was right out of university. I was working at the Environmental Protection Agency. I was actually out at lunch and was on my way back in. And on the television was the Challenger accident, and we lost Challenger that day. But I guess having a teacher on board that mission was very personal. Everyone knows a teacher. I thought it sent a pretty powerful message as to what NASA thought of the teaching profession. They recognized then that there's some really talented people working in our nation's public schools. And that kind of planted a seed about, that's a really kind of a unique profession that I hadn't really considered. And kind of a confluence of events kind of shaped my decision to go into teaching. And it was a really rich and rewarding career. There's a lot of things I'm looking forward to going to the International Space Station. One, I got to help build it, and now I get to go live and work there. You may know Joe Acaba is currently on the International Space Station, and he and his crewmates have been doing some demonstrations from orbit, demonstrating STEM subjects from the International Space Station, which is a fantastic platform for education. Going back to the Challenger mission, I've always kind of wondered what was Krista going to do while she was up on orbit. And that mission, unfortunately, was never completed. But we're going to have the opportunity with our crewmates to kind of bring that mission full circle. And we're going to actually conduct some of Krista's lost lessons that never had the opportunity to do because of the Challenger tragedy. To me, it's for our nation. It's really important that wasn't lost. Free of gravity, the demonstrations in physics, the principles surrounding gravity are really easy to demonstrate in fun ways. So I'm hoping that we can package up some nice stuff that teachers can use as a resource long after we're home and long after the mission's over, that the education and the tie into the space station will continue. Hi, my name is Ricky Arnold. I'm a classroom teacher and a NASA astronaut. And I'm getting ready to go to the International Space Station again to fly as part of the crew of Expedition 55 and 56.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Station is ready for the event.
Challenger Center, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Challenger Center. How do you hear me?
We have you loud and clear, and welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Lance Bush, President and CEO of Challenger Center, and I'm here today with the annual gathering of all our educators. We want to thank you for making the request to reach into our archives and take Krista McCall's lessons plans to their planned destination, space. You are carrying forward the spirit of the legendary crew of Challenger 51L and helping complete one of their main missions to engage and inspire the next generation. To introduce this project, which is a collaboration with NASA, we are privileged to have NASA's Associate Administrator for Education, Mike Kincaid. Mike?
Thanks, Lance. Hey, and thanks, Ricky. Ricky, you look great on the TV. We can see you down here, so thanks for joining us today. You were really kind of, as people watching this at home, they saw that this is really a passion of yours, this partnership that we have with Challenger Center. So thank you for the work that you did to make this possible. You know, when I think back on the tragedy that happened back in 1986 and what we've been able to turn that into, it's just amazing to think about. And when I think about the year of education on station that you and Joe Acaba have been delivering to educators and students around the country, what a great thing. And so thank you for the passion and energy that you put into it. And I hope that people will have a chance to watch this. And with with that, we're going to get right into our first question. Oh, actually, Ricky, you had a few words to say.
Earlier this year, my colleague and friend, fellow teacher and astronaut Joe Acaba announced his collaboration with the Challenger Center to complete some of the lessons developed for the Challenger mission that Krista was supposed to deliver during that mission. And today I'm here to announce that the first one of those lessons, chromatography, is ready to roll out. As a science teacher, I am here wrapping up a year in education on station because of that Challenger mission and because of all the folks involved in the Teacher in Space program and the people who kept that dream alive. And it's a incredible honor for me to play a really small part in bringing this part of the mission to completion. And with that, I'm ready for some questions.
Awesome. I'm Libby Torbeck from the Challenger Center in Normal, Illinois, and I was wondering if you could add one more lesson to Krista's lessons, what would you want to teach or demonstrate?
I think the thing that everyone wants to share rather than teach once they get to space is the beauty of our planet. And I am sure the crew of Challenger, when they were to return to Earth, that would have been a huge part of the post-flight experience. Would have been just sharing the beauty and the fragility of our home planet. What a really special place it is.
Hello, I'm Norman Jensen from Las Cruces, New Mexico. And was there anything about your life on the space station that your NASA training did not prepare you for?
This microgravity. It's a really challenging environment to work in. It's a fun environment, but it's a really challenging environment, and there's just no way to prepare for it on Earth. We can get a few seconds of simulated microgravity in aircraft, but living and working in it is a real challenge, and there's a steep learning curve to figure out how to do all the things we're asked to do.
Hi, my name is Tasman Front. I'm from the Challenger Learning Center in St. Louis, and my question is, what has been the most memorable part of your mission so far?
There's been a lot of highlights. Launching into space is always a lot of fun. I've been fortunate. I've been able to do a couple of spacewalks, which was also were all really special experiences. But like any experience, it's really the people you share it with that make it memorable and special. And I've been really fortunate with the crew I've had up here, the crew that's already returned home, and all the amazing people on the ground who have made this possible. So that has been the most rewarding part for me so far.
My name is Kaya from Songam Space Center in South Korea. My question is, how often can you talk with your family and friends?
Yeah, I think the question was a little difficult to hear. How often do you get to talk to your family and friends? And family I get to talk to almost every day, and friends a little less frequently. I get a video conference once a week with my family, which is a real treat. But they do a really nice job of helping us stay connected to our friends and family back home.
Hi, I'm Lauren Phipps from Washington, D.C. What do you do during your free time?
We don't have a lot of free time, but when we do, I like to spend time looking out the window, taking pictures, calling home to friends and family, and reading. There's something really pleasant about being here and reading stories about places on Earth that you're either flying over or that you'd like to visit, and I find that to be a really relaxing, rewarding way to spend time.
Hi, Ricky. This is Jennifer Becerra from San Antonio, Texas. If you were to go back into the classroom, what experiment or research from the space station would you duplicate with students?
I would certainly do my due diligence trying to connect students directly to what's going on. We on here on the space station. We have a lot of opportunities for kids to develop payloads and fly them on the space station, and I would certainly work to encourage people, my students, to try to get involved in that. The second thing I think I would spend more time doing is just developing those teamwork and cooperation skills that are absolutely critical up here. The only way this whole thing, this miracle, stays in orbit and gets done the things that it's supposed to get done is because of the sense of teamwork across international boundaries and amongst the crew and with the ground. And I would really spend a lot of time focusing on those skills.
Nick King from West Lafayette, Indiana. What technologies on the ISS could be utilized in today's classrooms?
I just mentioned a few a second ago with payloads, and there's some obvious ones like EarthCam. There's opportunities for students to actually take photographs of locations on Earth that are of geologic or other interest. Something as simple as a ham radio contact. Serena and I talk to students all the time via the ham radio, school ham radio clubs. But one thing that I think we need to start taking a better advantage of is the opportunity for distance learning, connecting students at a distance to remote locations so they can actually experience, not firsthand, but pretty close to science happening in the field. We are distantly controlled. We have distance interaction every day with the ground, and I think that is something that we can really take to the classroom to connect kids to science occurring as it happens in the field.
Hi, I'm Isul from Songham Space Center in South Korea. And how do astronauts do their laundry?
We're really lazy about laundry up here. No, clothes are a precious commodity. Anything you have to fly to space is a precious commodity. So we wear our clothes for quite a while, and then we're done with them. We put them in a bag, we put them on a cargo vessel, and they burn up as they head back into the atmosphere. So at some point, if you happen to see maybe a meteorite streaking through the sky, it might be something that someone up here wore at some point in time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan Borland from Tallahassee, Florida. What do you see as the value of the International Space Station and space exploration?
The latter, exploration, when you set difficult challenges for yourself to achieve, and that's what we've done with the International Space Station, you got to go into it knowing you're going to learn just by taking on the challenge. And to me, setting those posts out in the future, those goals of places we're going to go, the things we learn on the way to achieving that goal, it's really hard to measure until you look in the rearview mirror and you say, well, this is how we got here. So I think it's really important for human beings, individuals to have goals, and I think it's really important for humans as a species to have those goals and accept those challenges. The International Space Station, to me, is an incredibly amazing for the science. But the overarching objective for me that really resonates is just the international cooperation. Humans as a species have decided to build this facility. We put political differences aside and found a higher plane of agreement here in low Earth orbit. And to me, that's really one of the remarkable achievements of the International Space Station, and really the legacy the ISS is going to leave to future generations, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Hello there, Ricky. It's certainly an honor. I'm Clay Tomlinson from Washington, D.C. If you could be involved in any NASA mission, past or future, which one would you choose?
It would be hard to top the one I'm on right now, just because of the people I'm with, the people on the ground I get to work with, and the challenges we've had in this mission in terms of a really busy schedule. It's been really rewarding to work through all those things. But I tell you, I don't know that there's any astronaut that I know that wouldn't put a lot aside to have an opportunity to walk on another planet, either the moon or Mars or one of those great voyages that are out there in our future.
Very good. Thank you.
Hi, Ricky. My name is Brenda Gift, and I'm with the Educational Service Center of Lake Erie West and Challenger Learning Center in Oregon, Ohio. My question is, what helps you stay motivated during complex tasks?
It's a great question because not only is some of our tasks really complex, but the schedule of our day is also complex. And what helps me stay motivated is the sense of purpose of our mission, the team here that I'm working with, and the people on the ground that just make it all possible. When you're having a hard day and you're focusing on something that's really complex, having that level of human interaction and support has been really wonderful.
Hi, Ricky. Joe Kitchens from Normal, Illinois. Which of Krista's lessons did you enjoy teaching most, and were any of the lessons challenging to do in space?
I enjoyed them all. The one I enjoyed the most was the Newton's Laws, which we just filmed over the weekend, and I enjoyed that because it's so intuitive here to share those three really fundamental principles of motion with students. And I got to film it with one of my crewmates, Serena, who's working down across the module here. I was hoping she could drop in and say hello. So I really enjoyed that. Anything with a liquid up here is really challenging. Anything I had, there's one we did on effervescence, another one with oil and water. And water, particularly as a polar molecule, just behaves really strangely in space. It's hard for us to manage. It's really hard even for our payload developers and the PIs who are doing science up here. One of the biggest challenges is just dealing with liquids and the way they behave up here.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Ricky. It's Rick Varner from San Antonio College. Do you notice any physical changes between your shuttle flight on STS-119 and this long duration flight?
I'm assuming you mean physical changes in myself. Is that where I'm assuming that's what you mean? Maybe. And I think part of it is just because of the fact we're up here a much longer time, and I notice sometimes I get the sensation of pressure in my head because of the way fluids even behave in our body. I don't really remember that from a shuttle mission, but a shuttle mission, it's such a short period of time, and you're not really focusing too much on yourself. You're focusing on getting the job done and getting home safely. And here you just have more time to notice some of the subtle differences that you might not notice on a shuttle mission.
Thank you.
Hi, Ricky. I'm Jerkita Ray from the Howard B. Owens Science Center and the Challenger Learning Center in Lanham, Maryland. Do the Krista McAuliffe lessons withstand the test of time, or are there things you had to change?
Hello, Maryland. Yeah, and Krista was a graduate of Bowie State University, if I remember correctly, so which is the town where I grew up. I think they absolutely stand the test of time. They're really basic foundational scientific principles that you would be working on a classroom today, and I think the lessons, without a doubt, hopefully will be stuff that is relevant and useful in any classroom around the world.
Awesome. Thanks, Ricky.
Hi, I'm Catherine Brown from New York, New York. And my question is, what advice would you give to teachers who are interested in bringing STEM and space specifically to life in their classrooms?
It's a great question, and it's the most challenging thing in education right now because of the way we measure learning. And I'm probably preaching to the choir on this, but we really need to focus on connecting children directly to science and the process of science, so they understand it's not just a collection of facts that you can measure on a test. It's actually a process that is self-correcting with time. And so just immersing them as best you can in the actual process of science, and I think all the facts and the stuff that go along with that will grow with the process. I know that's a really challenging in today's environment, but I think that's really what we need to be focused on as a country as we move forward in STEM education.
Thank you.
So Ricky, we are about out of time, but I do have a special guest that I wanted to introduce to you that you will know well. Those who are watching on TV, this is June Scobee Rodgers.
Hello, Ricky. Thank you. Thank you
Hello.
so much. From the day after the Challenger accident, when I knew that NASA would continue the mission, I prayed that we could continue the education mission. And we've been doing it. All the people in your audience here have been doing that. But you give us the culmination of the dream for Krista's lessons to come to life. Thank you so much.
Well, it's been my honor to be a part of that, and my next job is to hand the baton off to the next educator astronaut, the next teacher turned astronaut, and I think it's really important that that continues. So thank you very much, and thanks to all the people who kept the dream alive.
Thanks, Ricky.
So Ricky, with that, I think that's a great place to let you go back to work. We're about to show the video on NASA TV. The first time people have seen this video. I know I have not yet seen it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Thank you for your passion and for your possibilities to make today possible. Thanks, Ricky.
My pleasure. Thank you for all that you folks do, the Challenger Center and teachers around the country and around the world, all they do to make a brighter future for all of us. It's much appreciated, and everything you do is incredibly valuable.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from the Challenger Center station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.
So, for those of you watching at home, this is our chance to see the first video from Krista's Lost Lessons.
Challenger in Houston, we have good video. We're ready for your lesson. Go ahead, Krista.
Okay. Good morning. This is Krista McAuliffe, live from the Challenger.
We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
We've come a long way from the Wright brothers plane to the shuttle. We're planning on doing this.
Hi, my name is Ricky Arnold. I'm a classroom teacher and a NASA astronaut. I've always kind of wondered what was Krista going to do while she was up on orbit. And we're going to actually conduct some of Krista's lost lessons that were never had the opportunity to do because of the Challenger tragedy. Hi there, my name is Ricky Arnold, and I'm living and working on the International Space Station as a part of Expedition 55. Today we're experimenting with chromatography. Chromatography is a technique for the separation of a mixture into its individual components. Let's go ahead and get started. We have a mixture, this black spot, on a piece of chromatography paper. We want to see what different components of light make up black. So we put in the water onto this end of the chromatography paper to see how the ink separates. Water is a universal solvent and should help separate the spots into colors. What do you think is going to happen? Talk about it with your classmates. All right, now let's see what happens. I'll go ahead and add some water. Here's the first one. Water is going ahead and creeping up the chromatography paper. You can already start to see not much separation here. Very little on this black one, but you can actually see the reds, greens, and yellows starting to separate and make their way up the chromatography paper. The substances, now in liquid form, travel over the solid, the paper, at different speeds, causing them to separate into the component parts. Now that we know what black ink separates into, let's think about how the water was able to move through the paper. I put a drop of water in just one spot, but as you can see, it moved along the paper on its own. How does it do that? Well, it happens through a process called capillary action. Capillary action is when a liquid like water moves upward due to its cohesive and adhesive properties. In other words,
water molecules are able to essentially stick together and stick to one another, which is cohesion. And they can also stick to a surface or a container, in this case the paper, in a process called adhesion, and that adhesion pushes it upwards. This happens in microgravity and on Earth. You could try another experiment with chromatography with your parents or your teacher. Grind up some green leaves into a real fine pulp and use some acetone or nail polish remover instead of the water. Leaves are green because they have a chemical called chlorophyll in them, a chemical that can use sunlight to make sugar and oxygen through a process called photosynthesis. However, there are other chemicals in leaves that do the same job, but we just don't see them until fall when the chlorophyll breaks apart. Another way to see fall colors any time of year is to use chromatography. Well, now that we've done this experiment in microgravity, think about how this might look different on Earth. Will the material setup be the same? Will water behave in the same way? Will the same separations happen? Discuss it with a friend, then give it a try. Thanks for participating in our experiment today. I'm Ricky Arnold. We'll see you next time.